School. Julia Brocky, the sophomore out of Eleanor Roosevelt High School in New York, New York, and we are underway. Oxford Emory in their road blues and Oglethorpe in their home whites. They're going to be working from left to right as we are here in the first 45. Again, thanks for hanging out with us here tonight in Brookhaven. First errant touch goes through Caitlin Caputo, and it's going to be a throw for Emory Oxford as they work their way from right to left. Throwing on the far. Attempted a clearance, and the second time it goes through. Touched by Devin Canty. Canty throwing to the left-hand side to Kirsten Brown, the senior. Through ball, defended, and you end up with the touch coming from Louisa Gamble, and Ayaka Smart will end up on top of it for the Eagles tonight. Forward with the left, and it was first touch by Harlow Krieger. Trying to release down the left-hand side, and no one is there. Intended for Devin Canty, and it'll be a throw for the Eagles coming up here as we are in the second minute. Pressure by the Eagles on the turn by Julia Brocky. By Oglethorpe, trying to regain possession quickly. Sakalaka's pinned in a little bit. She tried to pass forward. Caitlin Caputo was there for Oglethorpe. Working forward now down the left-hand side. It was Sophie Shockett, but there for Oglethorpe was Maddie Ennis. And as we enter the third minute, it's going to be a throw for the Eagles. Here on the near side is Bella Garcia. Fighting for possession, Julia Brocky. Brocky can't quite get toward the 18, so she sends it toward the middle, and Sophie Shockett, but they're defending Caitlin Caputo for Oglethorpe. Trying to work forward. Was Oglethorpe. Deja Sherrill was there for the Eagles. It ends up being last touched by Oglethorpe. So for the Eagles here. Halfway through the third minute. Rob King in his first season here at Oglethorpe with the women's soccer program. Spent his last 4 seasons at Young Harris, and before that, from 2001 to 2015, he was at Kennesaw. Head women's soccer coach, eventually assistant AD there, helping to build the Owls program. And now he's in his first season here at Oglethorpe, here inside the perimeter. Brocky over toward the far corner flag. Contested well that time by Nikki Wells. It'll be a goal kick for Oglethorpe. Haley Lowell will track the ball down. We mentioned the wins and loss numbers for both of these teams once again. This is an exhibition tonight, but heading into this particular match, a win against Agnes Scott, 6-1 by Oglethorpe. Devin Canty had a hat trick. Mackenzie Jones, Jade Anderson, and Harlow Krieger each had goals in that one. Coming back on one-day rest, really. Then they played Brunel, lost that one 4-0. Then another 3 days later against Huntington, got the win there 2-0. Kirsten Brown with a brace, and then the goalless draw back on the 10th to finish last week, the goalless draw at LaGrange. And so that is how we end up at 2-1-1. For Oglethorpe coming into this match tonight as they get ready for the remainder of their schedule in Division III in the NCAA. Nikki Wells tries to track that one down. It's going to be a throw for the Eagles over on the far side. Entry is there. Julia Brocky trying to work her way around Sophia Saeed. Nikki Wells tries to send it down the left-hand side, and it was last touched by Oglethorpe. It'll be another throw for the visitors. Throw flicked on, easily caught by Haley Lowell, the junior keeper out of Hoover, Alabama. Assistant coaches for Rob King in his first season, Emily Ober, Nathaniel Gitman, and Frank Pitt. as they are all getting acquainted with each other and the program. Formation changed tonight into the 4-3-3. Talking to Coach King before the match started, he says it seems like this particular formation fits them better than it was with the other formations they tried early on in the season. Kirsten Brown inside the 18, centered and defended well there. And the first real push by Oglethorpe here in the 6th minute. And you hear the counsel by Rob King. You'll be hearing a lot of that tonight. Nikki Wells will take the corner for Oglethorpe. It'll be interesting to hear the counsel from Rob King, so you may hear me lay out just a little more than normal here. In toward the penalty spot, Taylor Whiteside there with the attempted volley, and she just misses it wide to the far post. Once again, the first chance off a corner for Oglethorpe goes wide here as we are in the 7th minute. Goalless between Oglethorpe and Oxford of Emory. Smart with the left, found Sophie Schockett in the midfield. Gamble back to Schockett, chipped forward with the right. Brocky wants to try to track that one down, but there in defense was Nikki Wells, and Wells sends it back to Haley Lowell. Pressure, a lot of pressure there from Hannah Florence. And the outlet by Haley Lowell. Once again, the pressure by Oxford Emory pins Oglethorpe deep. As Caitlin Caputo will be here for the throw as we're now in the 8th minute, but pressure by Oxford Emory there, creating a chance at another close call that time as we're chasing our first goal on the board here in the 7th minute. Defense for the Eagles, another throw, aiming for Kirsten Brown. Maylee Hart there for Oxford Emory. We mentioned the start of the season for Oxford Emory. 2 games, 4 goals on the board. Ayaka Smart, when she transfers into being a field player, she's got 2 of the games played. Hannah Florence has 1 of the goals for Oxford Emory. And the other goals on the board go to Doreen Kay, who is not here tonight. Maria Sakalakis has the 4th goal on the board for the Eagles so far this season in their 2 matches. Krieger inside the 18, deflected, and it ends up going all the way back to Ayaka Smart, and she'll hang on to it. The sophomore out of Minnesota. Krieger with the first touch for Oglethorpe. Down the left-hand side, Devin Canty. Canty looking inside the 18, tries to go toward the top of the arc with it. The Eagles can't quite clear. And it's going to be a corner for Oglethorpe, and chasing the ball down is Kirsten Brown. Busy schedule before the Eagles had games to count. You had a couple of scrimmages that were moved, and so Oxford's kind of still getting their sea legs about them. Sent in toward the 6 and in. First goal on the board. First goal on the board on the night. Looks like it's going to go to Taylor Whiteside. So Whiteside gets credit for the first goal on the board. Well introduced by Kirsten Brown into the 18, and in the 10th minute, Whiteside puts it in the back of the net, and Oglethorpe gets the first goal on the board. Now, we were mentioning Emory-Oxford's schedule. They've lost their 2 matches coming into tonight. Initially, they were supposed to start their season back on the 3rd against Motlow State. That one was canceled. Then a 4-1 loss back on the 6th to South Georgia State, and then a 7-3 loss to Georgia Military College. After this one, tonight, they will have 2 more home matches this week. One on Thursday night against Spartanburg Methodist, and then another one against Andrew College on Saturday. So the games come thick and fast to make up for the lack of activity in the preseason for Emory Oxford. Down 1-0 here as we're now in the 11th minute. Charging down the left-hand side once again, Devin Canty. Couldn't quite get away from the double coverage that was there from the defense of the Eagles. Looked like it was Deja Sherrill over on the far side. Throw in, first touch was by Taylor Whiteside, inadvertently with the header. Sent in and pushed away, parried by Ayaka Smart. And is it going to roll out into the corner? No, it is not. Great save. Good work there by Beba Cortez to keep it in to create a throw down in the corner for Oglethorpe. Maddie Ennis. Header sent into the 18 by the Eagles themselves. Beba Cortez had it, couldn't quite keep control. Julia Brocky tries to come with it from right to left. Pass headed up into the air by Sarah Berg as possession goes back and forth between the benches here a little bit. In the 12th minute, Maddie Ennis working quickly. Oglethorpe working their way down the right-hand side, about 20 yards at a time. Maddie Ennis will chase, the sophomore out of Loganville, Georgia. Surveying, double clutch in the throw to try to gain a little more momentum and speed. First touch was by Harlow Krieger. Sophia Saeed had the second touch. Caitlin Caputo over on the left-hand side. Has some support with Krieger. Tries to chip it inside the 18. Popped away by the Eagles. Muscled off the ball. Harlow Krieger asserting herself with the physical nature here early on. In the 13th minute, trying to get possession back for Oglethorpe, but the Eagles come away with it after a little bit of back and forth. Center circle. Turnover, Beba Cortez. We're going to come back the other way with it. Maylee Hart with the pass to Isabella Garcia. Garcia cuts it back. The Lawrence, New Jersey product. Cortez with the pressure. Once again, Garcia has to quickly switch from her left to her right. Heads towards center circle. Julia Brocky now. Brocky couldn't quite get through the double team. Devin Canty was there for Oglethorpe. Opportunity at the back. Sophia Saeed was looking. Pass was to Taylor Whiteside, but it was picked off by the Eagles. An intentional nutmeg there by Isabella Garcia, but it doesn't amount to much as the possession ends up going back to Oglethorpe here as we're now in the 14th minute. Eagles try to be physical to muscle the ball back into their own possession. Whiteside chests it down. Impending double team. Has a little bit of help with Maddie Ennis. Whiteside with the work to Harlow Krieger working out of a jam. Nicely done there. Just out of the reach of Taylor Whiteside. Great 1-2s there here in the 15th minute by Oglethorpe. It's going to be a throw by Alex Richmond, sophomore out of Houston, Texas, and the Kingwood High. Kirsten Brown tried to turn. Inside position was there by Maylee Hart to regain possession by the Eagles. Down the left-hand side, Isabella Garcia was looking inward toward the middle of the pitch. Stuck with it. Sophie Shockett has help to the right, but Oglethorpe's defense is there. Pushing it back towards center circle, but quickly in transition, Sophia Saeed down the left-hand side. Had some room, closed it down. She was looking for Kirsten Brown, too much to it. Maylee Hart knocks it out of play, and it'll be a throw here in the 16th minute in the attacking third for Oglethorpe. Goal by Taylor Whiteside off of a corner is the only goal that we have on the board in the 10th minute. Once again, it's an exhibition tonight with Oglethorpe NCAA Division III and Emory Oxford as NJCAA, a two-year institution. So once again, we'll see what the substitution rules are tonight. We'll see how well they're enforced, what the numbers are when it comes to substitutions, how freely they happen. But tonight is for both clubs to sit there and try to continue to get into the rhythms of the season early on. Sarah Berg over to Maddie Ennis. Into the middle looking for Sophia Saeed. Beba Cortez was there, as was Taylor Whiteside. And it will be a throw for Oglethorpe here in the 16th minute. Ennis, the sophomore out of Loganville, looking for Taylor Whiteside, the junior out of Marietta. Whiteside touches it last, and it will be a throw for the Eagles. Richmond's throw, looking for Isabella Garcia, kind of took a little bit off of it, got caught between ideas, didn't get the velocity on it that she was looking for. Maylee Hart tracks it down for the Eagles, and it will be a throw heading toward the attacking third by Oglethorpe. Ennis will get there, throwing it down the right-hand side. Finds her target in Kirsten Brown. Standing her up is Alex Richmond for the Eagles. That's Sarah Berg sending it deep into the attacking third, and the flag is up for offside as Nikki Wells tried to get Taylor Whiteside working inside the 18. So the flag is up offside. Still 1-0 here in the 17th minute with Emory Oxford, the Eagles, working their way in from Rockdale County tonight. Coming in on I-20, I'm sure that the traffic, and they probably had to leave maybe 11:30 in the morning. I'm just kidding with that somewhat, but nevertheless, coming inside the perimeter during rush hour on a Tuesday afternoon was a bit of a challenge. I'm sure that Coach Geiger and the Eagles had to leave a little earlier than they normally would anticipate to be here at 6 for a 7 o'clock start. Once again, thanks for hanging out with us here at GoPetrels.com. Pass by Sophie Schockett. Didn't get to the intended target. Well anticipated. Devin Canty now gets away from Schockett. Long distance, and that will go wide to the far post. Ayaka Smart was looking at it the entire way. She's going to let that one go on the track down a second ball, and do another 30-yard run to try to track a ball down inside the track and field, the discus, and the shot put circle, and she'll bring it back inside for goal kick. As we're here, 19th minute now here in the first half. Looks like it's going to be 2:45s today with the Eagles and the Petrels. Smart forward to Louisa Gamble. Alex Richmond was looking for Hannah Florence. Florence has been kept in check so far by the defense of Oglethorpe. Richmond down the near touchline. Sakalakis trying to spin away from the double team. And she made contact, and contact was made, and Sakalakis is down, and she is hurting. Contact on the instep. She's trying to stand and try to walk it off. She is really smarting after that contact. Taylor Whiteside helping Sakalakis off. Great show of sportsmanship there by Taylor Whiteside, making sure that Sakalakis could make her way to the bench. So we'll see what Coach Geiger has in mind for the substitution And it looks like it's going to be Emma Wang.
Of Emory, number 7, Emma Wang.
Freshman out of New Bern, North Carolina.
Number 22, Jade Anderson.
Jade Anderson checking in for Oglethorpe for the first time tonight. So we have our first round of substitutions. Jade Anderson, the sophomore out of Alpharetta, Georgia, checking in. And she looked like she was the intended target for Haley Lowell for her goal kick. Hard touch, and here comes Julia Brocky of the Eagles. Well defended that time by Nikki Wells. It'll be a throw over on the far side, heading toward the attacking third for Emory Oxford. Looks like next opportunity, Jayla Taub will be checking in for Emory Oxford, the freshman out of Davie, Florida. Down the left-hand side, Kirsten Brown. She's got Whiteside available. Whiteside calling for the ball toward the top of the 18. Still hanging on to it. Kirsten Brown cuts to the inside. Whiteside sticking with it, regains possession for Oglethorpe as Isabella Garcia had it briefly for the Eagles. Kirsten Brown loses possession. Charging in toward center circle was Hannah Florence. Pass was popped up into the air. And working quickly, Harlow Krieger, the freshman out of Roswell. Quick steps down the left-hand side. Devin Canty will track it down just outside the 18. Looking into Beba Cortez. Cortez got it past Krieger. Krieger tries to regain possession, does, turns, and it'll be an easy grounder for Ayaka Smart to grab as we're in the 21st minute. And it is still 1-0. The goal by Whiteside's been the difference so far. So Oglethorpe with the lead at 1-0. First touch by Beba Cortez. And Beba Cortez is now inside center circle, and she has taken to one knee.
Coming onto the field for the Eagles, number 15, Jayla Taub.
And Jayla Taub will check in for Alex Richmond. And let's try to see what the might be a knee for Beba Cortez, the junior out of Smyrna. Keep an eye on this. And it looks like set to check in for the first time, Kirsten Rona, the sophomore out of Hoover, Alabama.
Number 18, Kirsten Rona.
Kirsten Rona checking in for Kirsten Brown, and it looks like Marissa Romaine, the senior out of Hayhira, will be checking in for Beba Cortez. Beba Cortez explaining to Rob King when the injury happened to her knee. Rona gained possession briefly for Oglethorpe, sent away. And you heard the instruction there from Rob King. Trying to work down the right-hand side in combination, Taylor Whiteside and Kirsten Rona. Jade Anderson with the throw, leading into the attacking third. The Eagles are there first to defend, and you've got a foul call on Marissa Romaine. So Marissa Romaine called for the foul. It's going to be a free kick for the Eagles here as we are halfway through the first half, 1-0 to Oglethorpe on the goal by Taylor Whiteside back in the 10th minute. Sarah Berg in possession, stood up. Romaine, first touch, loses her footing. Gets it back quickly. One touch nicely done by Jade Anderson and Taylor Whiteside. And Whiteside collides with Jayla Taub, her first activity inside the 6. Trying to spin and get another chance as Harlow Krieger. Her left is blocked. Chipped back inside the 18. Once again, Rona tries to get a shot on net. Pinball continues, sent back outside the 18. Here comes Whiteside one more time. The defense for the Eagles is there one more time in response. Hannah Florence sends it forward, but their return is Nikki Wells, and they're going to go all the way back to Haley Lowell to try to calm things down just a little bit. Jade Anderson now on the right-hand side. Tries to work around Isabella Garcia. She does not keep it in, and it's going to be a throw for the Eagles here in the 26th minute. Looks like Taylor Whiteside's jettisoning some tape. Putting her shin guards back in. Throw toward the 18 by Isabella Garcia. Gamble keeping possession for Emory Oxford. Sent in centrally. Marissa Romaine was there for Oglethorpe. Kirsten Rona gets the pass. Good control. Turned to Devin Canty. Canty keeps it and lets it go through. Krieger looking for Rona at the top of the arc, and here comes the Eagles one more time. But Romaine is there, hard charging to try to keep Emory Oxford from working into the attacking half. Finally is advanced, but physically Harlow Krieger comes to backtrack to gain possession quickly for Oglethorpe, and you're going to get a foul called on Sophia Saeed. So Sophia Saeed called for the foul, the sophomore out of Alpharetta. Emma Wang with her first touch on offense. Down the right-hand side, Lily Chappell into the corner. Their defending was Nikki Wells. Still not out, kind of standing their way around. Nice piece of imagination by Wells to make sure that Oglethorpe kept possession. Down the left-hand side, Devin Canty, Taylor Whiteside sprinting down the middle. Is she going to find her in time inside the 18? Waits a little bit. One hopper is right there from distance. Ayaka Smart had it all the way for Emory Oxford. Off the side of the foot. Doesn't get a whole lot of distance, and so it's an opportunity for Rona to win it for Oglethorpe. Whiteside double team. Back out to Jade Anderson. Anderson, the sophomore from Alpharetta. Back to Sarah Berg, the senior from Oak Brook, Illinois. Whiteside's there after the first touch. Can't be kept in by Jayla Taub, so it's going to be a throw for Oglethorpe here in the 27th minute. Anderson looking for Kirsten Rona just inside the 18. Handball shout by Emory Oxford, none given. Canty quite hang on to it. Marissa Romaine tries to send it over to the left-hand side so Oglethorpe can keep possession. Kirsten Rona with the nice tackle to do so. Canty, Jade Anderson calling for it. Finally does get it, but here comes the pressure once again by Isabella Garcia. Through Romaine. Lily Chappell was there for the Eagles. She couldn't quite keep it for the visitors, and they're going to work back down the right-hand side with the Whiteside and getting it from Jade Anderson, cutting inside. Now inside the 18, Whiteside charging on Ayaka Smart, chipped and parried away. Ayaka Smart got the hands up, had it tracked the entire time, so the shot by Taylor Whiteside does not go into the back of the net, and it is still 1-0 here as we're approaching the 29th minute. Whiteside's goal in the 10th is so far the only ball that has made it into the back of the net. Sophia Saeed turns to keep possession. Rona is chasing for Oglethorpe, can't quite get there in time. Emory Oxford working down the right. Julia Brocky loses possession. Devin Canty looking for Rona just inside the 18. Deflected and not caught flush was the shot by Harlow Krieger. Popped up into the air, and here come the Eagles one more time. Nicely defended that time by Taylor Whiteside to keep the charge from happening down the attacking left. Whiteside a little slow to get up, but it will be a throw now for the Eagles as that rush got slowed. Whiteside Had the throw by Jayla Taub tracked the entire time. Headed back toward Taub, and it'll be yet another throw. It'll be yet another throw for Emory Oxford. Alex Richmond looks like she's set to check back in at the next opportunity. For the back line for the Eagles, Jade Anderson wins possession for Oglethorpe temporarily. Rona couldn't keep it, and it ends up going back to Maylee Hart. Haviland Harris set to make her first appearance on the night, the sophomore out of Frankfort, Kentucky, once again at the first whistle. And a foul is going to be called on Sarah Berg, I believe, as Hannah Florence was trying to get into the attacking third for the Eagles. It's going to be a free kick from, say, 35 or 40 or so. Garcia looking toward the top of the arc. One hopper cleared away by the Oglethorpe defense. And here comes Sophia Saeed. Saeed trying to direct a little traffic with Rona. Couldn't quite keep possession. Rona having to backtrack against Julia Brocky. Saeed stays there. Tries to regain possession. She cannot. She'll be the last touch, and it will be a throw for Emory Oxford. So Haviland Harris.
Number 6, Haviland Harris, and coming in for the Eagles.
Haviland Harris checking in for Taylor Whiteside. Alex Richmond checking in for the visitors, and she is going to replace Deja Sherrill, the sophomore out of Byram, Mississippi, and Braswell High School. And a shout out to the diehards who are out on their decks tonight in the apartment complex just off the property. Got crowds in the stands over on the far side, and at the same time, you've also got them up in the apartment complex. So that's true diehard. Thanks to all of you guys for watching the sport the way that you are and watching here at GoPetrels.com. 13.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Haviland Harris with the throw. Harlow Krieger trying to turn away from the double team that included Sophie Schockett. You're going to get a foul call there on Krieger. So Jayla Taub will leave it for Maylee Hart, sophomore defender out of Rockport, Massachusetts. Marissa Romaine first to get there for Oglethorpe. Back and forth continues, headed towards center circle. Nikki Wells is there, and she will fire it all the way back to Haley Lowell at the top of the arc. Thought about one idea down the left-hand side. Now she's going to go long down the right. First touch by Jade Anderson. Anderson through ball, looking for Krieger and for Devin Canty. They're going to go from the left to the right. Rona just outside the 18 with the chip. Defended that time by Jayla Taub, and it's going to be a throw about 5 yards away from the corner flag here on the near side. So Maria Sakalakis will be checking back in at the first opportunity. She'll be replacing Emma Wang. So it's sophomore from Niskayuna, New York, heading back in. Got the right ankle taped up, and she's heading back out there after the incident early. And looks like Kate Parker, the freshman from Maysville, Georgia, might be making her first appearance at the next opportunity as well. So Sakalakis checking in.
For Oxford of Emory, number 23, Maria Sakalakos, and for Oglethorpe, number 14, Kate Parker.
Kate Parker checking in for Devin Canty. So Devin Canty gets her first break. And Emma Wang, after her handful of minutes, will check in, or check out. Sakalakis checking back in. Throw looking for Krieger. Krieger does a good job to keep possession. Threw a couple of bodies and tracked down defensively. It was Jayla Taub. And she gives it to Isabella Garcia. Haviland Harris there defending for Oglethorpe. Sakalakis lifts her head up trying to find a passing partner in Hannah Florence, but there to intercept was Marissa Romaine. Back and forth continues here, right towards center line. Garcia tries to get around Harris. Pokes it forward with the right to Hannah Florence. Harris does get in the way that time. And looking for a target was Sophia Saeed. She found none. That'll be a throw for Emory. About 10 yards inside the attacking half of Oglethorpe. Coming up on 10 minutes to go here in the first half. Throw up into the air. It was won by Sarah Berg. Handball call as Nikki Wells tried to launch it from just outside the 18. Close range. Ends up hitting an Emory Oxford Eagle, and it ends up being a free kick that'll be taken by Nikki Wells, senior out of Corbin, Kentucky. Looking for Krieger, center circle. It was first touched by Louisa Gamble of the Eagles. Down the left-hand side, Hannah Florence tries to cut it in past Romaine toward the top of the 18. Into the air, Caitlin Caputo from Midland City, Alabama. And a collision with Rona and Sakalakis, and you're going to get a foul call on Kirsten Rona, the sophomore out of Hoover, Alabama, with just under 9.5 minutes to go here in the first half. Substitution coming for the Eagles at the next opportunity. Long run up by Sakalakos. Line drive with the right. Goes right to Isabella Garcia at the top of the 18. Jayla Taub tried to send it forward for Emory Oxford. Haviland Harris sent it backward for Romaine. And just having to clear it was Nikki Wells to calm things down a little bit. Under 9 minutes to go here in the first half. Substitution for the Eagles.
Emory, number 16, Deja Sherrill.
Deja Sherrill will check back in, and Jayla Taub will take a seat after her minutes. Amaya Johnson, the sophomore from Lebanon, Tennessee, will check in for Rob King and Oglethorpe at the next opportunity. Sherrill with the long throw inside the 18 off the top of a head. Popped up into the air. Rona tried to touch it and clear it for Oglethorpe. Garcia looking for Sakalakis in the corner. Gets away from Rona. Rona's second chance defense. Pokes it away over the touchline. It'll be a throw. 7:45 to go here in the first half. Sherrill looking down the near side, looking for Julia Brocky, who's now on the left after spending a lot of time early on the right-hand side for the Eagles attack. Will now have her third throw in a row. Long launch, headed up into the air by Harlow Krieger, chipped by Louisa Gamble, easily tracked by Haley Lowell. Headed towards center circle. Krieger there to gain possession for Oglethorpe. Through ball is there, and anticipated well by Ayaka Smart to come outside the 18 to send it back toward the middle of all of the action, but Krieger once again directing traffic. Very, very active as a freshman out of Roswell. Into the corner. Good first touch and good step to fake. In toward the 6, and Ayaka Smart is there one more time. Looking for Rona right on the doorstep. Ayaka Smart had it read the entire time. So we come up on 6 minutes to go first half. Krieger, once again, continuing the pressure for Oglethorpe. Alex Richmond now on the right-hand side for the Eagles. There to defend. Last touched by Oglethorpe, and it'll be a throw for the visitors here. Once again, waiting for the first opportunity for Amaya Johnson to check in. Dutifully waiting here at the table. Krieger being a real pest to the Eagles on defense. Wins the ball back after a good 10 seconds of trying to fight for it. Flag is up as Jade Anderson tried to push a shot on net. So the flag is up by the AR. They're going to call offside, or they're going to call the handball. Rob King was looking for the handball, which I thought I saw. And looks like they're going to call. What are we going to call here? We're going to have a conference? Okay, so center ref and AR are going to have a bit of a conversation. I think one saw one saw the other. Conference is over, and they're going to go with the offside call. Forward by Alex Richmond. It's anticipated that she will play goal in the second half. Julia Brocky on the left-hand side to Isabella Garcia. Haviland Harris is there marking her. Under 4.5 to go first half. And Haviland Harris is there to defend. It'll be a deep throw for the Eagles here. Still dutifully waiting for the Amaya Johnson substitution. Now under 4 minutes on the clock here. Cheryl, Haviland Harris heads it up into the air, and it's going to be a corner. It's going to be a corner for Emory Oxford. It's going to be the first opportunity for the Eagles to have this kind of a chance on net here in the first 45. Coming up on 3.5 minutes to go first half. Sakalakis will take. It will be an in-swinger with the right. Looking far post, headed down, and getting to it in time was Haley Lowell. Headed down by her defense, took a big hop. Lowell pounces on it, and it stays 1-0 coming up on 3:10 to go first half. Lowell looking for a target. Forward with the right. Big hop past Rona. Jade Sherrill to Alex Richmond. Brocky tried to gain control for Emory Oxford. Could not. Krieger tried to launch it toward Rona. That was blocked by Emory Oxford. And now coming back the other way is Julia Brocky. Brocky in toward Shockett. Shockett looking for a partner. Couldn't quite find it. Cleared by Oglethorpe's defense. Kate Parker was over there. Now we've got the substitution after waiting a handful of minutes.
In for the Stormy Patriots, number 13, Amaya Johnson.
Amaya Johnson now in for Marissa Romaine. Sophomore from Lebanon, Tennessee, finally getting her action here with about 2 minutes to go. I will swear up and down she waited on the sideline for a good 5 minutes before the substitution was recognized and wanted to happen for Rob King. But Johnson will be in for the final 2 minutes of the first half. Sarah Berg directing traffic, making sure that the defense is there for the final 100 seconds to keep that goose egg on the board that has been earned so far. Throw over on the far, last touched by Emory Oxford. Oglethorpe players releasing down the left-hand side. Jade Anderson. Her charge was interrupted. be a throw for Emory Oxford at 70 seconds. Into the turf here in Brookhaven. First touch goes to Oglethorpe. Rona over to Kate Parker. Sarah Berg on the overlap down the left-hand side.
That's 50 seconds remaining.
Sophia Saeed charges inside the 18, popped up into the air by Maylee Hard in defense. Saeed tries to chase it down, and she's the last one to touch, and it's going to be a goal kick for the visitors here, coming up on 30 seconds to go here in the first half. No, correction. Last touch by the Eagles. It'll be a deep throw. Quick turn by Lily Chappell. She tries to get it past Caitlin Caputo.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Buzzer sounds, and that's your first half. The one goal on the board in the 10th minute by Taylor Whiteside by Oglethorpe has been the difference so far. It has held up to this. Jayla Taub will start the second half. Also, the midfield four is going to be Ayaka Smart, who's going to be getting her first touch here in just a second. And it's going to be Maria Sakalakis, Sophie Shockett, and Isabella Garcia. And up top, it is once again going to be Hannah Florence and Julia Brocky. Oglethorpe working their way from right to left in the middle, instantly trying to test. Big save, kick save. Third shot is knocked over the bar, so two quick chances for Oglethorpe. First save, spilled, rebound, blocked, third chance up and over. So three quick chances for Oglethorpe here in the first minute of the second 45. And it looks like Deja Sherrill is going to get a rewrap on her right quad and hamstring. And so technically, for a little while, it looks like Emory Oxford's going to play with 10. Corner from the far toward the near post, headed up into the air. And Ayaka Smart tried to clear, but it went over the end line, and they'll try it again. So Nikki Wells will take the corner over at the far. Let's see what happens this time. Started at the near post, the first chance. Wells toward the penalty spot, headed up into the air by Ayaka Smart, headed down, but possession is kept by Oglethorpe. Amaya Johnson ended the first 45 on the field for the Petrels, and she's going to start the second 45 on with the Petrels, and it was last touched by Oglethorpe, and it's going to be a throw over on the far side, and we'll see what the Eagles try to do with one of their first offensive possessions of the second half. Quickly turned over. Kirsten Brown tries to send it toward net, and it goes over the end line, so it'll be a goal kick here 2.5 minutes into the second half. So the first touch for Alex Richmond in net on a goal kick. Lines up everything over to the right-hand side. Intercepted. But it was a hard touch. Oxford was trying to clear and give themselves a chance to breathe a little bit. They can't quite do it. Caitlin Caputo on the left-hand side. Ball popped into the air as they were looking for Devin Canty. And it's going to be a corner. It's going to be a goal kick. Okay, they initially looked like they were motioning for a corner, but it's going to be a goal kick for Emory Oxford. Here in the fourth minute, once again, one goal in the first half. We'll go over the first half stats here as we go. Grounder Devin Canty tried to step in the way. Sophia Saeed now has it for Oglethorpe, looking centrally. Kirsten Brown couldn't turn and shoot, but tracking it down, once again, Harlow Krieger. Krieger was looking for help, didn't get it, and it was last touched by Taylor Whiteside. And it's going to be a throw for the Emory Oxford Eagles. Deja Sherrill checking back in after she got her right leg, her hamstring, and her quad rewrapped. So Emory Oxford now back to playing with 11. Brown looking for Canty. Couldn't quite control it. And the first touch by Taylor Whiteside, a lot on it, but it was over the bar. It will be a goal kick here in the 5th minute of the second half. First half stats. Shots by Oglethorpe, dominant 8-1, 2-1 on corners. Saves by Oxford of Emory were 3. Oglethorpe had 1 save in the first 45. Devin Canty winning possession. Krieger wants to wind and fire. Early test, kicked up into the air by Whiteside. Third touch, by Alex Richmond, popped up into the air. Self-defense as a defender instead of using her hands, but it pops up and it ends up working its way all the way back towards center line. And the push through opportunity here. Kirsten Brown cuts it back to her left, and it is wide. Kirsten Brown with the opportunity, cut it back to her left foot, and Alex Richmond was there to answer for Oxford Emory in the 6th minute, and it's going to be another corner for Oglethorpe, and ready to take the corner over on the far side is going to be Nikki Wells. So Alex Richmond tested early, understandably so, by the Oglethorpe offense. We'll see what Nikki Wells has in mind this time. It's got Krieger trying to work her way toward the penalty spot. That's where it was headed. Flick chance by Sarah Berg up and over the bar. It'll be a goal kick. And if anyone could help getting the ball before it gets to the parking lot, that'd be great. So Alex Richmond sets the ball down on the right corner of the 6. Last time she had a goal kick, didn't have a whole lot underneath it. Center F wants to have a bit of a conversation with Rob King. Krieger with the touch. Nicely done there by Caitlin Caputo. But it's won quickly by Emory Oxford. Won just as quickly by Amaya Johnson. Popped up and over. Checking over her shoulder was Maylee Hart, looking for Isabella Garcia. But the charge is there for Devin Canty. Canty wants to launch on Richmond, didn't quite turn on it, and off the outside of her foot, and it is going to be a goal kick as it was wide to the near post. Richmond with the goal kick for Emory Oxford, and it was last touched by the Eagles. It's going to be a throw over on the far side by Oglethorpe as we are now in the 8th minute here of the second half. Waiting for, is that Taylor Whiteside? Yeah, it's Taylor Whiteside. Had to make sure that the laces were as tight as she liked them before the throw was made. Kirsten Brown trying to turn and get away from Ayaka Smart, and was last touched by Oglethorpe. It'll be a throw for Emory Oxford. Once again, Emory Oxford out of the NJCAA. It's a 2-year institution, about a half hour outside the perimeter in the Atlanta area. So as a 2-year institution, their rules are a little different than what we have here in NCAA Division III. And so you have, this is technically tonight an exhibition match. It is not a match that is going to count in the standings one way or the other. Coming in, Emory Oxford with a record of 0-2, and Oglethorpe coming in with a record of 2-1-1. Maylee Hart there to defend as Devin Canty was working down the left channel. It's going to be a throw for the home side here as we are now in the 10th minute of the second half. Long throw inside the 18, big hop. Taylor Whiteside wanted to chest and turn and control. Collision there with Louisa Gamble. The ball ends up once again in the hands of Alex Richmond. Krieger is there with first touch. Sent right to her. But Emory Oxford working their way up the left-hand side. Sophie Shockett. Ayaka Smart works her way around Maddie Ennis. Down the left-hand side, Julia Brocky. Brocky's been kept pretty much in check most of the day. Amaya Johnson marking her now. Throw, once again looking for Brocky. Double team is there with Johnson and Nikki Wells. Looking for an outlet a little further back, just inside the 18, turn and fire, easy grounder. That'll be grabbed by Haley Lowell. Now in the 11th minute here in the second half, the one goal in the first half. By Taylor Whiteside in the 10th minute off a corner by Kirsten Brown. So Brown got the credit for the assist. Whiteside now in control with it for Oglethorpe as she's trying to get past Deja Sherrill, and she cannot do it. Sherrill will come back with it for the Eagles, the sophomore out of Byram, Mississippi. Last touch by Oglethorpe, working quickly. Sophie Shockett in the midfield. Tries to get around Sophia Saeed. She cannot. But quickly keeping possession. Emory Oxford looking for Isabella Garcia. Caitlin Caputo tries to get away from the defense from Emory Oxford. Can't quite control it. And it's going to be a throw for Emory Oxford in the attacking third. Even, just about even with the 18 here on the near side. Isabella Garcia, the freshman from Lawrence, New Jersey, with the throw. Julia Brocky tried to send it inside the 18. Defense was there for Oglethorpe in the form of Sarah Berg. So it'll be yet another throw for the visitors. Up over a couple of bodies, and they're going to call handball. It's going to come back the other way. It'll be a free kick for Oglethorpe here as we are 11 and a half minutes into the second half. So in the 57th minute of this 90-minute exhibition match between these two schools. Once again, thanks for hanging out with us here at GoPetrels.com. John Nelson here hanging out with you tonight. Last touch that time was by Garcia. Jayla Taub to Sakalaka. Sakalaka's trying to keep possession, tried to turn on the right. Great ball skill there to keep possession. The pass from Taub, though, trying to work its way up the next level. Picked off by Sophia Saeed. And you're going to get a foul on Emory Oxford. So at the back, it'll be Nikki Wells. Amaya Johnson to her right. Maddie Ennis all the way over. Looking toward the top of the arc, up and over Krieger. But there to defend was Sakalakis, backtracking. Maya Johnson with the header now toward center circle. Sophia Saeed can't get there. Sophie Shockett does. Work up the left-hand side now. Louisa Gamble Tried to turn and go down the far touchline, could not. Maylee Hart there to defend against Kirsten Brown. Sent to check in Lily Chappell out of Louisville, Georgia. The freshman set to check in at the next opportunity. And so checking in at the next opportunity, it'll be Chappell for Jayla Taub. And it will also be the first time here in the second half. Coming up at the next opportunity, Marissa Romaine, the senior out of Hayhira, will be checking in for Rob King and Oglethorpe. Whiteside couldn't keep control. Julia Brocky was trying to work it down the left-hand side. The touch was not there, and your substitutions will now happen.
Emory, number 3, Lily Chappell, and for Oglethorpe, number 15, Marissa Romaine.
So once again, as we anticipated, Lily Chappell is in. Freshman Jayla Taub is out. And exiting for Oglethorpe is Amaya Johnson. And checking in is Marissa Romaine. Entry by Oglethorpe. Maddie Ennis gets away from one defender. Krieger towards center circle. Good anticipation there by Sophia Saeed, but there to defend was Sophie Shockett. Saeed sticking with the play. So we're now in the 16th minute here of the second half. Last touched by Emory Oxford. Volleyed forward by Sarah Berg. Eagles are there. Garcia trying to get away from Sophia Saeed. Backward to go forward. Nice control there, but ends up giving it to Sarah Berg instead. Berg is there on the left-hand side with Devin Canty. Can't control. But Krieger backtracking nicely on the throw-in. The volleying back and forth. Maddie Ennis swats it forward into the attacking half. Sherrill is there for Emory Oxford. Krieger in pursuit. Now you've got Canty and Kirsten Brown trying to get around Sophie Shockett to gain control. Shockett gets around Brown nicely, but once again sticking with it. Brown gains possession. Big launch up and over and just missed. Missed on the sharp angle, but well done by Sophia Saeed to regain possession and keep it for Oglethorpe. Almost a dynamic goal from the sharpest angle humanly possible. But it's going to be a corner now. 17th minute here of the second half. And it looks like Harlow Krieger will take, the freshman from Roswell. Might hear Rob King directing a little traffic. Krieger with the right. Up and over and in. Goal on the board for Kirsten Brown.
By number 6, Kirsten Brown, assisted by number 12, Harlow Krieger.
Kirsten Brown on the corner from Krieger. And it's now 2-0. 16 and a half minutes into the second half. Alex Richmond tried to anticipate the flight of the ball. It was over her. Kirsten Brown was there. And the senior from Slidell, Louisiana gets a goal on the board, and it is now 2-0. Now what does Emory Oxford do to respond here? They were down a goal in the 10th minute. Didn't really have a whole lot of chances in the first half. They had the one shot and the one shot on goal, both credited to Louisa Gamble. Mounted one charge so far here in the second half, and let's see what they can do as they're chasing a 2-goal deficit. And what does Oglethorpe do in return? Trying to continue to pour the pressure on themselves. Whiteside there to defend. As the Eagles tried to work their way forward. Throw, leaning toward the middle third. And the defense continues to be there for Oglethorpe, walking it forward 15 yards at a time. Second throw into Julia Brocky. One quickly back by Oglethorpe, right side. Forward by Sarah Berg once again. The speed of Kirsten Brown down the right-hand side had Devin Canty breaking down the middle channel. Substitution, Jade Anderson. Jade Anderson will check in, the sophomore out of Alpharetta. And that'll mean that Kirsten Brown gets a bit of a break. Walking a little gingerly behind the track and field screen and the goal screen to our left. So Jade Anderson in. Positioning herself toward the penalty spot, and then she's walking away toward far post. So let's see what the idea here is. It's going to be an outswinger with the right. One hopper toward the penalty spot, down on the ground, and won by Emory Oxford, but they can't quite clear their lines. Whiteside tried to turn and launch and got too far underneath it and hit a bit of a slice as well. It's going to go over the end line, goal kick. Coming up on the 20th minute here in the second half. Goal by Whiteside in the 10th. Goal by Brown in the 61st.
Coming in for the Eagles, number 7, Emma Wang.
Emma Wang checking in for Emory Oxford. And she's checking in for Deja Sherrill. Kirsten Rona. Kirsten Rona checking in for Taylor Whiteside. So Alex Richmond looking for Maria Sakalakis, won back quickly by Oglethorpe. Having to defend just as quickly after losing possession. Sakalakis is there to intercept the throw. Caputo stood up to the back line of Nikki Wells. Wells working towards center circle. Pinball continues. Big hop. Good positioning there by Maddie Ennis to try to win possession for Oglethorpe. Chance by Emory Oxford there, defended well down the far touchline by Nikki Wells. So there's a bit of an advancement, and it looks like it's going to be substitutions.
Number 6, Haviland Harris.
So Katie Krim, the freshman from Homewood, Alabama, gets about 24 minutes of duty tonight. Haley Lowell's night is done, the junior from Homewood. Haviland Harris checking in for the first time here in the second half. And that will be Maddie Ennis stepping away briefly, the sophomore from Loganville. Throw in, big hop inside the 18, headed up into the air by Nikki Wells. Brocky had possession briefly. Looking to go on the turn is Jade Anderson. She does, and she's got Devin Canty down the middle channel. Full sprint Sophia Saeed on the left, through ball, too much on it. And grabbing it for the Eagles is Alex Richmond. Richmond with top spin. Found Maria Sakalakis towards center circle. Sakalakis shipped over the top, trying to have Hannah Florence chase. Florence kept in check for a lot of the evening. Tracked down in the corner by Caitlin Caputo. And it's going to be a throw for Emory Oxford. Near corner, almost at the corner flag. Thrown in looking for Hannah Florence and Julia Brocky. Isabella Garcia was there for the throw. And they're going to say that it was last touched by Emory Oxford, and the Eagles last touch, so that means that Oglethorpe will work its way from right to left. Looking for Devin Canty on the throw, last touched by Canty, but the throw by the Eagles doesn't find a teammate. You heard Coach Geiger there. Too much watching going on by the Eagles. So Isabella Garcia grabs the ball and will throw, trying to throw into the corner, looking for Sakalakis. Sakalakis looking to turn on Saeed. Saeed is there to stand her up. About 5 yards away from the corner flag. Now a double team in the corner. 4 or 5 players are there. 3 for Oglethorpe. Sakalakis still maintaining control. Well done there, and it sticks with the visitors. Throw. Trapped initially. Defended by Oglethorpe. But once again, another throw for the Eagles here as Isabella Garcia is tracking the ball down. Great footwork by Maria Sakalakis to keep control for Emory Oxford. And now here comes Oglethorpe with it. Didn't get enough on the pass, but could not be controlled by Sophie Shockett. Jada Anderson with a head of steam going through the gears. It's 1v2 as she cuts it inside the 18, has to cut it back. Saeed looking toward the middle. Berg wins possession, thought about winding up, and she will just yield to the right-hand side, the right wing, Haviland Harris. Harris on the ground, easy grab for Alex Richmond. Coming up on 20 and a half minutes to go of the 90 minutes here between Emory Oxford and Oglethorpe. Oglethorpe with yet another rush. Alex Richmond, easy grab. Looking for Jade Anderson that time with the lead pass. Once again, too much heat on it. It was an easy grab for Alex Richmond. First touch by Katie Krim. Hannah Florence was buzzing the tower a little bit, and so now you've got possession once again by the visitors. Eagles working their way down the left, but there to interrupt that particular thought pattern was Nikki Wells, sent away. It'll be a throw for Emory Oxford. Just under 20 minutes to go. And once again, thanks for hanging out with us here tonight at GoPetrels.com. John Nelson here in Brookhaven as the exhibition, as it will be recorded in the books, is going on between Oxford of Emory, who came in with a record of 0-2, and Oglethorpe, who came in with a record of 2-1-1. Once again, both teams having to turn around quickly after tonight. Emory Oxford with 2 more matches this week to make up for all of the activity that they did not get during the preseason. Flags up the entire time there as the defense held their high line and Jade Anderson was offside. And you hear the exultations from Rob King there. Once again, Rob King and his staff, they're in their first year here with the women's soccer program at Oglethorpe. King spent his previous 4 seasons up at Young Harris, and before that he was a stalwart, 15 seasons with the Kennesaw State program. And so Rob King, Emily Oburn, Nathaniel Getman, Frank Pitt, they're all in their first year here in NCAA Division III. Harlow Krieger over to the right-hand side. Rona tried to launch inside the 18, but Maylee Hart was there. Maylee Hart was there to defend, and we have a substitution once again. Deja Sherrill.
Number 16, Deja Sherrill.
Deja Sherrill checking in for Emma Wang. So Emma Wang putting in quality minutes once again for the defense for Emory Oxford. Deja Sherrill, the midfielder, checking back in once more. So the throw by Emory Oxford, who are in their dress blues this evening as they work here in the second half from left to right. Oglethorpe in their dress whites with the black numerals and the gold trim. Last touch that time by Emory Oxford, so it'll be a deep throw. Looks like Haviland Harris will take. Just about even with the 18, tries to launch it into the corner. She does, but Oglethorpe not able to keep possession, so it's going to be a quick restart by Emory Oxford. But there, once again, to stand the action up was Sarah Berg, the stalwart of the back line for the Oglethorpe program all the way here into her senior season. And just launched over the end line, so it'll be a goal kick again, once again, for Alex Richmond. Goal by Taylor Whiteside in the 10th. That made it 1-0. Stayed that way all the way through the halftime interval, coming back 16 minutes into the second half. Kirsten Brown with the goal. Harlow Krieger gets credit for the assist, and that's where we are, 2-0 with just under 16 and a half minutes to go. Brocky trying to work her way past Harlow Krieger, cannot. And it's going to be a throw for Oglethorpe once again. And the Petrels, Berg, back to Haviland Harris. Harris trying to skip lines, working to Devin Canty. Sophie Shockett is there. And now Maylee Hart. Julia Brocky wants to go switch. Tried to work it into the middle to Hannah Florence. Millie Chappell trying to regain possession for the visitors. And it's going to stick with Oglethorpe on the throw. Harris looking for Berg. A lot of room in the middle. Tries to turn, give to Canty. Rona with the ball lost between her feet. With Canty. Let Sophia Saeed get to it. The pass was behind, but sticking with it, Jade Anderson. Anderson with pressure from Isabella Garcia, and you're going to get a foul on Isabella Garcia with about 15 minutes to go. It'll be a set piece right up against the near touchline from probably close to 30 away. You see where the 18 is, working its way in. So probably just inside of 30. Quick start by Harlow Krieger. Swept in with the left, but right on. Tracking it all the way was Alex Richmond as Sarah Berg tried to chip it inside the 6. Pass didn't have a whole lot on it. Sophia Saeed there intercepting for Oglethorpe. Jade Anderson directing a little traffic for Saeed. Krieger tries to spin and keep control just outside the 18. Rona can't get there in time, and so just having to send it out just to kind of calm things down a little bit is Emory Oxford. And we're getting close to Kate Parker checking back in, the freshman from Maysville, at the next opportunity for Oglethorpe. Foul called on Emory Oxford. So the situation that we had here on the near side, we're going to have over on the far side, Harlow Krieger. Krieger, firm strike, but just wide of the near post. Substitution now for Oglethorpe.
Number 14, Kate Parker.
And Kate Parker once again checking in for Rob King. And Kirsten Rona, the sophomore from Hoover, Alabama, will check out with just under 13 and a half to go. Krieger trying to spin to keep possession, could not. Pressure was there from a lot of Separate Eagles players, but there to defend is Nikki Wells on their charge. It's going to be a throw for the visitors over on the far touchline. Tasia Sherrill looking for a target. Finds one, and Louisa Gamble couldn't quite keep control. Coming back the other way, Jade Anderson now. And she couldn't hang on to it herself, so just on the other side of center line over on the far. It's going to be another throw for Emory Oxford. Popped up into the air. Berg clatters in, wins possession, no whistle. Sophia Saeed. And you're going to get a foul called there on Sakalakis as Saeed was trying to speed past her left shoulder. Emma Wang set to check back in for Emory Oxford. And Isabella Garcia will be the substitution at the next opportunity. So 7 will be coming in, 20 will be exiting as we come up on 11 and a half minutes to go. 2-0 lead for Oglethorpe over Emory Oxford. Big launch, big hop, stopped. Sakalakis pops it up into the air, and you're going to get a foul called on Kate Parker. Big switch there. Isabella Garcia gets away from Saeed. Sophie Shockett pops it up into the air, looking for Hannah Florence, tracking it down quickly. Nikki Wells gets some help. Past Saeed on the hop. Emory Oxford keeping possession. Sakalakis pestered by Saeed. Step over, keeps possession again, chips it into the corner. Looking for a partner in Hannah Florence, too much on it. It's going to be a goal kick. And the substitution now.
The field for Oxford of Emory, number 7, Emma Wang.
Emma Wang in for Isabella Garcia. Garcia, the freshman out of Lawrence, New Jersey. Wang, another freshman from New Bern, North Carolina. And the Epiphany School. So Katie Krim. Foot into football. Krieger, good flick touch. Devin Canty calms it down, gets it past Wang, tries to spring Jade Anderson into the corner. Does not go, and we are 10 minutes away from the conclusion of this match. Sakalakis could not control. So it's going to be a throw for Caitlin Caputo. Up and over Jade Anderson, big hop there. Anderson keeps control away from Sophie Shockett. Shockett trying to regain control in the corner. Well done there by Jade, but once again, too much off on the touch as she tried to go inside the 18, and Louisa Gamble was there. Once again, set to check back in after a quick respite, Isabella Garcia. First chance for Emory Oxford. Looking for Sakalakis. Gamble all the way over from the left to the right. All the way down into the corner. Tracking it down is Nikki Wells. Wells tries to advance it slightly over on the far side. She does. It'll end up being a throw for Emory Oxford. And it went into the construction area. So working quickly, trying to get the ball is Emory Oxford. So Hannah Florence will sit. And Isabella Garcia will check back in. They recovered the ball quickly. Turn. Well defended by Nikki Wells. Jade Anderson now towards center circles. Got Devin Canty to her left. Ended up hitting a couple of defenders for Emory Oxford, including in that was Maylee Hart. Deja Sherrill now down the left-hand side of the attack for Emory Oxford. The back and forth continuing here in the middle. Saeed tries to keep control. Jade Anderson to Haviland Harris. Krieger had it, lost it. Berg tried to find Devin Canty. Isabella Garcia now for Emory Oxford. Looking into the corner, but the only ones there are Oglethorpe players, and coming back with it the other way, it's Devin Canty. Anderson couldn't quite keep the second touch, but Canty keeping an eye on Sophie Shockett. Shockett sends it off of Anderson to keep possession for the visitors. Bumped off the ball off the initial touch. Sakalakis was motioning it was last touched by Oglethorpe, and she couldn't keep the header to advance it the other way. Throw by Caitlin Caputo, up and over Jade Anderson. Chasing after it, Sophie Shockett, Maylee Hart. Confusion inside the 18, but coming away with it. Intended for Sakalakis. It was Sophia Saeed. So Saeed looking for Kate Parker. Parker was looking for Krieger. Sakalakis gets wiped out. Great tackle that time by Harlow Krieger, the freshman. They're going to call a foul that time. Going to call the foul on Krieger. Krieger offered a right hand as she backed up on the foul call. So Sakalakis. See the conversation from Coach Geiger. Sakalakis looking for a target. Goes into the middle, up and over center ref. Looking for Julia Brocky. Big pop up into the air. Sakalakis collides with Jade Anderson. Devin Canty comes away with it now. In hot pursuit is Sophie Shockett. Two players stand Canty up. A third is there to help out, and it's Sakalakis. But Sakalakis found Caitlin Caputo. Hops past Berg. Nikki Wells is there. Haviland Harris. Two players closing down on her from Oxford Emory. Keeping possession. Briefly through center circle. Saeed keeps it away from Isabella Garcia. Caputo found Shockett instead. But keeping with it, Sarah Berg to regain possession for Oglethorpe. In a collision with Isabella Garcia. Advice from Rob King to Caitlin Caputo. Sakalakis tried to keep control, hand fighting there, and you're going to get a foul on Sakalakis as she couldn't keep possession with Harlow Krieger. It's been one of the good battles tonight, Krieger and Sakalakis. Krieger, a freshman, not afraid of any upperclassmen whatsoever. Really asserting herself here for Rob King and Oglethorpe's women's soccer team here early on in the 2022 season. Nikki Wells. First touch was by Sophie Shockett. Sakalakis headed this way, one hop two, and I'm not touching that. Headed up into the air, Isabella Garcia off the throw, and they're going to say that Garcia touched it last. Caputo, as we're now under 4 minutes to go. Deflected, then blocked. Marissa Romaine helps keep control. Krieger again, great vision there. Stands up Kate Parker, and Jade Anderson was there to get the ball away from Alex Richmond, trying to keep possession. So the only thing that Oxford Emory could do was clear it out toward the stands and the bleachers. Haviland Harris with the throw into the corner. Jade Anderson was the last to touch. It'll be a goal kick for Alex Richmond as we're now 3 minutes to go here with a 2-0 lead. Once again, recapping in the 10th, Taylor Whiteside with a goal off a corner. The assist went to Kirsten Brown. And then 16th minute into the second half, it was Kirsten Brown's turn. The assist to Harlow Krieger. Krieger had 3 shots, 1 on target in the first half, and has been a pleasant watch as one of the incoming freshmen here for the Stormy Petrels. and Rob King in his first season. Devin Canty, too much for Sarah Berg, but Sophia Said is there to back up. Sophia back to Canty. Canty keeps it from going out. And the nutmeg of Sophie Shockett. Sakalakis is there to try to defend, and it goes off of Sakalakis as Canty wanted to power her way inside the 18 at 2 minutes to go. And it's going to be a corner for Oglethorpe. And it looks like Krieger will take. One of the last chances here for Oglethorpe on the night at 100 seconds to try to chase after a third. On the ground, and too much curve on it, and ends up going into the side netting, so it'll be a goal kick for Emory Oxford here under 90 seconds. So once again, next on the schedule, it's going to be 2 matches at home for the remainder of the week for Emory Oxford. They've got Spartan Methodist on Thursday night. Andrew College is on Saturday before they head down to South Georgia and take on ABAC next Saturday the 24th.
1 minute remaining in the game. That's 1 minute remaining.
And the activity will continue for the Oglethorpe program as well, with the wins that they have had on the board with a record of 2-1-1 heading into this match tonight with Emory Oxford. So there's plenty for Rob King to look at and examine, especially with the formation change going to the 4-3-3. He said it was seemingly more fitting with what he wants to do here with the players and the athletes on hand, as Jade Anderson sees that go away with 20 seconds to go. But 1 goal in the first half, 1 goal in the second half, and it is 2-0.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
And that'll do it. Goal in the first half, goal in the second, and Oglethorpe with the 2-0 win over Emory Oxford, Division